I'm William Steele, and this is the VirtualHUD. The VirtualHUD is what we call a revolutionary heads-up display. The reason we call that is we actually project our heads-up display onto the backside of the spinning propeller. So the propeller becomes our surface. Just like your movie has projected onto a movie screen in the theater, our propeller becomes the screen for our flight data. We actually have two different versions of the VirtualHUD. The one that's built into the aircraft is what we call the VirtualHUD Forward View, and that's this unit here. It's about 10 inches by 12 inches, 3 inches deep, and it's a 4-pound unit, installs, integrates with pretty much any avionics package out there. In this case, we have the MGL Odyssey. And we also have a Garmin 396 GPS inside here. The Garmin GPS allows us to, enter a waypoint, do whatever we want to there, and then that'll get projected out on the front. In addition to this aircraft, we have the Forward Vision EVS 100 camera up on top, and here you can see a small display of the camera overlaid with the HUD, so we show all that. And this data then can be duplicated out at the prop area. Now, because of this fancy air show, we can't spin a real propeller here, but so we've simulated the real display out there with this large screen television, and that TV is actually at the distance and it's the same size as what you would experience in the real aircraft. We have the speed, heading, and altitude. We have the nice horizon with the green gradient line there. We have the purple highway in the sky. So as you're flying along, you're actually flying through those purple boxes, and that obviously changes based on the waypoint that you enter into your GPS or your navigation. In addition to the built-in unit, we also have a nice portable unit, which is what we call the NightVU. It's designed for nighttime flying only. With it, it has the same capabilities as the built-in unit, except it's only for nighttime. It has a video input and power input. And then the other feature that this has that's a little different than that is that this has all of its attitude heading reference system, GPS, compass, all of that data is already built into it. So this is a complete standalone unit that simply mounts to your windshield, standard glare windshield mount with a RAM mount, and then just plugs into your aircraft power system.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
One of the beauties of this system is that this is one of the first systems that I'm aware of that can actually take synthetic vision, enhanced vision from the infrared, and actually overlay that on the real vision that you get in the real sky, right? So in essence, what you actually wind up with is this concept of a highway in the sky, actually in the sky where it belongs. It's not highway on the little panel, right? When you're driving in the car, you don't actually look down at the instrument panel to see where you're going. You look out. So we actually have the highway in the sky. The other things that we can do here, though, is we can take this concept of synthetic vision to the next step and actually display, for example, TFRs. A TFR pops up, we'll display a red cloud and with text on it that says, hey, TFR, don't go here. Or airspace boundaries. You'll see a yellow upside down cake. So you see the airspace boundaries that, I can fly here, I can't fly there. Any other kinds of typical data that you would expect to see on maybe a moving map or a handheld device, we can actually project in the sky in spatial reference to where it actually belongs. I started this project several years ago working on situational awareness displays and trying to get the cost lower and lower, and the real hurdle wasn't the technology and the sensors or anything like that. It was really the displays. How do we get that information to the pilot in a way that they understand? So really my hope is that we can have a system like this integrated into every aircraft from the factory so that pilot has that enhanced situational awareness from day one. A great example is the Air Force. The Air Force has these small training aircraft, propeller driven, yet the very next step after that is a fancy beach that has a HUD in it, and they have to retrain these pilots to get over that transition. So one of the things that we're working on is actually getting those aircraft that these initial trainers use equipped with a HUD, so the pilot doesn't have that transition. They start out from day one never knowing an aircraft without a HUD. And frankly, I'd like to see every aircraft, every pilot that way. You know, that would be the ideal situation.
Welcome to the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Real-time 24/7 online audio and video programming, where aviation has been getting updated for over a decade. Distributing over 11,000 stories, features, audio, and video programs every year. Only ANN covers aviation and aerospace with this much depth, insight, and expertise. Check us out on the web at aero-news.net.
The VirtualHUD NightVU is actually available today. This is a $7,500 unit. The next release is the forward view, which is actually our daylight visible unit. We've got a few modifications that we need to make for that, but we expect to have that in the Oshkosh time frame, be ready for those. We are actually taking orders for these now. We have a builder's program that allows you to basically give us payments, and we'll ship different parts to, as you're building your aircraft, you can build in, for example, the wiring harness and the mounting hardware and the optics that are required. And then we actually have some additional products coming out in the future. So these are based off of single light sources. We actually have a laser-based light source that, in this case, we throw out a lot of light and hit the prop, right? The next release actually uses a very focused laser, and it draws the image on the prop without ever missing. So that technology is a part of the patents that we have in place. Allows us to very aggressively use the energy that we have to draw. You know, we don't waste anything. Everything that we draw is on the prop, so we don't throw any energy away. Even in that, this is 1.5 amps continuous draw, so it's very easy to run off your cigarette lighter. The built-in unit currently is running about 10 amps, but we anticipate with the new system that we'll actually get that down to at less than the 1.5 amps that we're drawing with this current system. So that'll significantly reduce the power requirements. We'd really like to get this in every single front-engined, front tractor-driven aircraft out there. And some of these small LSAs would be, they have pretty tight constraints on their power. So that's our next phase, is to shrink the device, shrink the power requirements, and increase the amount of information that we can display out there.